Hello and welcome to English 2. My name is Rebecca Griffith and I am the instructor for the course. In this presentation, we are going to review the English 2 syllabus. In order to be eligible for English 2, students must have successfully completed English 1 and have shown satisfactory progress and mastery of the standards therein. This is a description of what students will learn in the course. In this course, you will read short stories, novels, autobiographies, nonfiction texts, poems, and plays. The works come from a broad range of time periods and cultures, allowing us to understand how that culture and time period impacts writers and their messages to audiences. We will begin looking critically at literature to find deeper meaning of text and life applications. As you read and analyze the literature, you will become more skilled interpreters of literature and the world in which we live. In addition to reading, you will be writing a biopoem, persuasive speech, character analysis, a synthesis essay, annotated bibliography, and a rhetorical analysis. You will keep your writings in a growth portfolio that will document your journey of writing improved throughout your time at Knox Central. We will also study grammar and vocabulary. When journal entries are assigned, you will also have the opportunity to express yourself informally. Your journals will serve as a record of your growth and development as writers and thinkers during your sophomore year. We will also study grammar and vocabulary development. Within the English 2 curriculum, the following materials will be covered and take place continuously throughout the year. Journal entries. Beginning on the first day of school and continuing throughout the year, students will explore their thinking about reading and practice their expression of ideas by writing journal entries and storing them within their Google Drive. The entries will take various forms throughout the year, including free write, creative writing, informational writing, or argumentative writing. The journal entry assignments will be given on assigned days in Google Classroom. If you miss a day of work, your first step must be checking Google Classroom to find Mrs. Diamonds. You will be responsible for storing your journal entries within your drive and turning them in when asked through Google Classroom. Journal entries will also be given as assignments within Google Classroom, and once they are finished, you will just hit submit. Multi-draft writings. Students will complete several essays and papers during the course of the year as summative assessments, documenting their growth and writing successes. These summative assessments will be assessed through the following writing formats. Papers will be assessed on the basis of strength of assertions, quality of evidence, and sophistication of style. You will receive a rubric by which your assignment will be graded for each summative assessment. The rubric should act as a guide for your writing and as a way to measure what skills you will be displaying. Vocabulary. Students will be expected to learn key vocabulary terms in order to better understand domain language within the content area and in order to be college and career ready. Students will study content-specific vocabulary terms to better understand literature, as well as vocabulary that is found within literature to be able to understand the material better. Automaticity. Automaticity includes questions that will be given at the beginning of each class that can be answered quickly, ranging from vocabulary terms to grammar. It is imperative that students know and be able to apply the language of the content. Knowing the domain-specific content must be achieved quickly and through repetition. Therefore, we will be using automaticity at the beginning of class, coordinating with journal entries to make sure that you consistently know the terms that are associated with the English content. Critical reading. Readings for the course include excerpted as well as full-length fiction and nonfiction texts. Students are expected to read outside of class and come prepared to discuss the text beyond a superficial level. The student's reading is inherently assessed by all activities of the class. Discussion. Discussions are expected from students ranging from informal to formal as part of your participation in class. Part of the language arts standards require students to be able to participate in discussions at a high level, moving discussion forward while examining difficult or insightful concepts. Discussion has the ability to move students' understanding to higher levels of critical thinking. As we move to a more virtual setting, discussion will still be expected through your ability to communicate and articulate your point of view and understanding of concepts through journal entries, presentations, email, and virtual meetings. Oral presentations. Students will be practicing and refining their oral presentation skills throughout the year. The speaking and listening standards indicate that students should be able to deliver clear, and concise messages to audiences in a logical fashion while changing one's voice, diction, and speech to meet the needs of the activity and the audience. You will be practicing speaking in standard English as well as modifying your speech to meet the needs of the activity and the audience. As we move to a more virtual setting, your participation of presentations will still be expected through the use of Google applications and tools such as Screencastify. Research. Students will complete shorter research assignments that will culminate in discussion and presentation. The students will be assessed on their ability to effectively apply the research to developing situations surrounding a text and on correct documentation. At the end of the course, students will be required to perform research and use appropriate MLA documentation in order to present findings in an annotated bibliography. Here are curriculum units. Unit 1 is Latin American literature, and that will last 9 weeks. Unit 2 and 3 is Asian literature, and will last 9 weeks. Unit 4 is African and Middle Eastern literature, and it will last 9 weeks. And Unit 5 is Russian literature, and will last 9 weeks. For required resources, you will be required to use your assigned Chromebook this year to complete your work for all content areas through Google Classroom using Google extensions. If you would like to have a notebook, index cards, pencils, pens, your typical school supplies to help you with your work in Google Classroom, you can use those. However, everything you need is digital. Here's a list of Google apps and websites that you will use. Google Classroom, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Meets, also your Google Drive, which is where everything is stored, No Red Ink, Quizlet, Common Lit, Newsella, and there are additional apps. You will use Kami, Grammarly, Screencastify, and flashcards. If you are not familiar with these extensions, there will be a video provided showing you how to use them. Our planned testing points. Formative assessments will take place throughout the year in order to prepare students for summative tests and the end of the year test. Summative assessments will take place at the culmination of the cycles of units, and vocabulary summative assessments will take place throughout the curriculum. Here is a look at our grading system for the year. In the past, you were graded from 4 through 0. This year it will be A through F, and you will be graded based upon percentages. Our homework submission policy. Students will submit homework on the assigned due dates. All homework or classwork will be turned in online through Google Classroom directly within the assignment posted online unless instructed otherwise. When given due dates, students are expected to submit work on the given date. Learning at home and learning at school late work policy. Late work will only be accepted up to 1 week past the due date unless extenuating circumstances have been brought to my attention. The due date for each assignment will be given in Google Classroom. An extenuating circumstance could be an emergency, something dealing with sickness, a personal problem, anything that is outside of your control. If you need to email me and let me know something going on, please do so and we'll work together. Each day the assignment is late, 10% will be deducted from the grade. The instructor will announce the due date for each assignment with adequate time to complete the assignment. It is solely the student's responsibility to read all course announcements and complete all assignments on time. If makeup work from an absence is approved by the instructor, then a revised due date will be provided. Please reach out if you know that you will be late completing work. All excuses should be turned in through the proper procedures listed in your student handbook, but if you can notify me of the circumstance, I would really appreciate it. And if you think that you need more time on an assignment due to an emergency or circumstances beyond your control, notify me of the situation through email and we'll agree upon a grace period. Your high school grade report. Grade reports shall be issued every 9 weeks. Interim reports shall be made to parents during the 5th week of each grading period. A comprehensive test may be given at the end of each grading period in each semester. The semester test schedule shall be announced in advance. All classes are counted in the ranking of students at the end of the semester. Our remote learning expectations, we're going to be safe, respectful, and responsible. To be safe, choose a distraction-free workspace. Use equipment as intended. Use approved means of communication and keep login, passwords, and private information private. Stay on appropriate sites, use appropriate language, think before posting or emailing, and try your best to complete your own work in order to be respectful and to be responsible. Complete the assignments on time, respond to teacher in a timely manner, communicate if you need help, be present, use Chromebook appropriately, and attend meetings and calls as assigned by the teacher. Learning at school expectations. To be safe, follow teacher directions and use social distancing procedures. Mask up when moving around, social distancing less than 6 feet. Use equipment as intended. Use approved means of communication. Keep login, passwords, and private information private. Stay on appropriate sites. Use appropriate language. Try your best to complete your own work. Listen to audio through headphones and earbuds. Complete assignments on time. Communicate if you need help. Be present. Use Chromebook appropriately. Be on time and ready to learn. Have materials ready and come to class with your Chromebook charged. If you all have any questions, please send me an email, call me, or we can set up a Google Meets. Thank you.